In this video, I'm going to talk about price versus cost. How to use these two powerhouses to gain credibility and increase your profits. Price is what you pay up front. Cost is what happens after the price. For example, buying an older second-hand car will always be the best price, but will have a higher cost over time. Once you take out all the anomalies such as depreciation on a new car, older cars such as Japanese that are pennies to fix, super reliable and last 100 years. Here's a real example. Mr. Jones wanted to spend £2,000 on a car instead of £4,000, so he bought a higher mileage car. He then spent so much money keeping the car going with repairs and replacements that his wife joked that it was a brand new car just with the original shell. If he'd bought a newer car for a higher price, he would have spent less money over the 2 years he had it in repairs. This is price versus cost. Another example, if Mr. Jones bought a home ventilation system that was maintenance free and had parts and labour for 25 years, this would be worth a higher price to justify the peace of mind and repair costs later. Or he could have spent a third less on the price and got another ventilation system that only had 5 years parts and labour and will have had costs to bear later. Price versus cost. A lot of tradespeople don't know how these two words, when used at the right time, can be extremely powerful. Most people know the difference between the two, if pushed. However, clearly defining your solution in terms of price and cost is a very simple but undeniable way to gain credibility for knowing how this difference will impact your customer's choice and offer a more profitable and premium solution. We call this upselling. In most instances, customers will prefer to spend a little more to get more durability. We all know this. However, when this is not clearly demonstrated and customers are beginning to get lost in their quotes, this will provide a clear, memorable beacon illuminating their important end goals. No one wants to take a solution that's questionable long term. Some common examples of spending more and getting a little bit better. Metal guttering versus plastic. Oak versus chipboard. Glass roof versus poly. Tiles versus vinyl, concrete with tile impression versus paving slabs. You will come across many examples in your daily quoting for things like this. However, are you actually highlighting this to the customer? Are you using this as a tool to hedge your bets? Are you actually outlining the two differences and how that fits in with their plans? For example, if a customer is more budget conscious than they are admitting, usually the case, then any bravado talk from them over the best solution will quickly fizzle out when other competing quoters offer a cheaper solution. They may be offering it to get the job on price, or they may be offering it because they simply don't offer the more expensive solution. Speaking neutrally about the two options and asking questions about their long-term goals, not their budget, will tease this answer out gently. Direct questions that tend to evoke deception always centre around revealing budget. Customers with money will tend to mention price, cost, affordability, and customers without money will seemingly have much bigger budgets. This is because people with money are usually anxious about spending it, but people with less or no money have nothing to lose other than their image of not having enough and wasting your time. These customers will invariably end up going for a cheaper price if they do it, but will talk about other reasons for going elsewhere than money that sometimes seem to centre around your shortfalls. For example, using a concrete impression driveway over paving slabs. So, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you want me to quote for a new driveway. This might sound like a daft question, but how long are you planning on living here? Do you like to garden? Are you outdoorsy people? On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is the aesthetics to you? The answer to these questions might surprise you. It might come to light that they intend to move, emigrate, retire, downsize in 5 years. They find gardening therapeutic and they are a 5 out of 10 interested in how it looks. But you won't know any of this without asking questions. If you'd said, it depends on your budget, most people will see that as a test of their success, and suddenly they're sitting on a pot of gold. And you'll not see any of it because you'll quote for a higher end solution that they cannot afford. Someone else that was vocally neutral about the two options and still provided the two options by quote, despite the bravado talk, got the job. Similarly, if the other quoter had not asked these questions or assumed going cheap was the best strategy, plus they never want to weed in between the paving stones, etc., then he might have missed that they've only just moved in, or it's a forever home, they're planning on being outside a lot, and take great pride in the curb appeal of their property and what he parks his pride and joy on. I cannot express how many times someone has made assumptions with me, my partner, our project home and our budgets. And sadly, the rapport tends to break down and you seek someone else that gets it. If you'd said to the customer, OK, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, it sounds like you're going to be here for a while. The aesthetics are 7 out of 10 for you. You're not a fan of weeding. It sounds like a concrete impression driveway might initially seem like a good fit because it's maintenance free. It looks amazing and will last until the next apocalypse, etc. But it's considerably more expensive, so I will also tell you about the other option of paving slabs. It will involve weeding in years to come when Mother Nature wins. It won't last as long looking pristine and will need more cleaning, but it's still an excellent solution, a very popular one, and will look great and be cheaper, so I'll include it anyway for comparison. This is clever because it saves them coming back with their tails between their legs, assuming they come back at all, and asking for the cheaper solution. And one that you weren't enthusiastic about because you were busy being enthusiastic about the one they seemed to like at the time. Plus it shows that you are looking at the best options for them, not you. Invariably, you will get the job and probably get the higher profit solution as well, because they like you, trust you, and feel that you have their best needs in mind. That's how you use price versus cost. This is how you set yourself aside from the others. This is just one tiny tool of hundreds of strategies we use to boost your earning potential. If you were to write price versus cost on your hand every day for a week before you visit customers and lay out your suggestions in terms of price and cost, this doesn't mean giving a price on the spot. It means highlighting that the more durable solution will have a higher price, but will have a lower or no cost later. Or it might just mean having a premium solution to offer in the first place. Customers don't always buy on price, but that's another training session. Whereas the lower price will have costs to bear later. You will see how many more customers make those subtle facial movements that show you got it right. That's just one tiny way of getting more of the jobs you quote for at a higher profit. Apply here to see what else we can do to supercharge your business.